But I will say before this video starts, I did not know it was going to be this long. I didn't expect it to be this long. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and please sit through this whole experience with me. Even as I was voiceovering this, I didn't realize how long it was. So please sit through the whole video and experience this with me as I use ALEISTER. Hope you enjoy it. Peace. What is up, my YouTube family? It's your boy Arrahaffv, the only, the double G, aka the good guy, whatever you want to call me. And today, you are back watching Arrahaffv. You already know what it is, and we're back on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. As usual, the last video I posted was on the ALEISTER deck I had just finished making. Well, not really finished, but I just added some tweaks to it, and I kind of really wanted to record a video on it, so I went ahead and did that. And today we're going to be using the ALEISTER deck again, just hopping into some ranked. As you can see, I hop back into gold because I'm making a new deck, a really exciting deck, and I'm kind of still working out the kinks of it. But I did want to post another video on this ALEISTER deck because I absolutely love it. I can't stop playing it. It's one of my favorite decks that I own. Maybe even more than Vampires, who knows? But I just really love ALEISTER as a deck. I feel like it's balancedly good. Like balancedly is not a word, but it's like it's really good, but it's like a balance really good. It's not like a virtual world Drytron type good, right? Because that's not balanced. That's tier 0 that's tier 0 decks right there. Not even tier 1. They're tier 0. But I feel like this is really good. It's really fun and it's balanced. Because like some decks I see people play and I'm like, how can you have fun using this? And this is the deck that's really good that you can have fun using. And that's one of the key things for Yu-Gi-Oh! For me personally. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of link summoning here because I've been learning the kinks of this deck. The reason I'm summoning this is so I can get a light monster. And once I get a light monster, I can activate Invocation, which basically what this does, it lets me summon a fusion monster that lists ALEISTER. Now that I have a light monster, I can summon Mechaba because Mechaba needs one ALEISTER the Invoker and one light monster, which I did not have. So I link summoned into a light monster. So that's how that little sequence works. Is really good for this deck. So here we go. There also are other cards like Artemis that people use in this deck, which I probably will end up throwing Artemis in this deck anyway. It's just not in the deck right now. Now this card right here is one of my favorite cards in the game. I am loving this card so much. I think I'm gonna put this card. The thing about this card and all Dogmatica cards in general is Dogmatica can be put in any deck. I'm being honest. Like, I feel like cards like Dogmatica, cards like Eldlich can literally be put in any deck. Like, if you put the card that's on the field right now, and I forgot that other card's name, but it's a SR with 1500 attack, 1500 defense, and it's a Dogmatica card. If you put those two cards in your deck, then the deck will still work perfectly. Like, it won't affect the consistency of the deck at all. When you draw it, it'll always be useful. Like, and they work when a card is special summoned, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are always special summoned. So it really works. It really works well. So he activates the Twin Twister here, which I'm not too upset about. I don't really need this trap card a lot. It's very useful, but with my field right now, I feel like I'm kind of set. I'm kind of okay. I don't really need it now, so I don't feel like it's worth using a Mechaba negate for. Plus, knowing the current meta, man, there's so many spells and trap cards that need to be negated, so I'm definitely saving Mechaba for something potentially crazy pulls out here. So he plays this card, which gives him a field spell, and when somebody gets a field spell from their deck, like when their cards are field spell heavy, you already know what deck they're playing. It's pretty obvious what deck they're playing. So I play Ash Blossom here to stop that field spell, because I know exactly what he's going to get right now. If you play any deck that's most likely it's field spell heavy, like all the cards get field spells, it's most likely one of two decks. It's either a Pendulum deck, like an Endymion deck, or it's this right here, Numerons, which I knew it was Numerons. I had a feeling, bro. he wasted his normal summon to get a field spell. So you know it had to have been Numerons. Which I quickly negate and banish because Numerons are very annoying, and that field spell is the most annoying of them all. So I had to hurry up and get rid of that. The thing is about this deck, though, I won't say it's a hard counter to Numerons, but I will say it's pretty good against Numerons. Like, I feel like, if I'm being completely honest, I guess it depends, obviously, because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It depends on what hand you get, but I kind of like this deck better than Numerons. I feel like against Numerons, this deck works really, really well. So, like, it's perfect to fight against Numerons. I did have to sacrifice a Raigeki there, but it doesn't even matter because I'm fighting Numerons, so I won't need a Raigeki because they'll send themselves to the banish pile anyway. So it was very smart to sacrifice my Raigeki that I would not have needed to stop his Numeron network. Because that would have just changed the whole pace of the duel. So I end up summoning this right here, and this is really good. I was thinking about it in my head. I was like, this would be really good for Numerons. Because what this does is when a card is special summoned, it can destroy that card. So, like, if my opponent special summons a monster, I can, basically, I can destroy that special summoned monster. Now, with Numerons, how they work is they all count as one special summon. So you can summon a total of 4 Numerons, and they'll all count as one special summon. So technically, you'll only be able to destroy one of the 4 Numerons that they summon. But that's enough for me because their effect is they can't be destroyed by battle. And every time they attack an opponent's monster, their attack doubles. And they start at 1,000 attack points. So my thinking was he would attack my fusion monster and then get doubled to 2,000 and then try to crash with my fusion monster. And that's when I use ALEISTER. ALEISTER boosts fusion monster on your field. It boosts one of their attacks to 1,000, plus 1,000. So my fusion monster would be from 2,000 to 3,000. So then he would have to crash again. The 2,000 wouldn't destroy me, and he would take 1,000 more damage. And then after that, he boosts to 4,000 and then defeat me. But that would keep a Dogmatica on my field because that Dogmatica right there is very useful. That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking he was going to have to use all his attacks to destroy my fusion monster. And that's exactly what I wanted to happen. So, man, that was a lot of talking. But that was my thought process. And then he got Terraforming, which I'm pretty sure he top decked that. And that was a very unfortunate top deck, which kind of changed the course of this entire duel. Which I don't really care, like, winning too much. You know, it is what it is. If it was a good duel, right, I'll include it in the video. And this was a good duel, so, you know, I include it in the video, right? But this Numeron network right here kind of did really change the pace of the entire duel, that terraforming that he drew. So he activates Numeron network, and it actually gets to work this time. So he sends that to his graveyard, and trust me, I've seen Numerons enough. I literally know this deck by heart like I use it every day. I know this deck like I've used it every day of my life. I know it by heart, everything it does. Probably not every singular card in it, because I wish I could say that everybody plays their deck different nowadays, but that's not true. Everybody's pretty much copies a deck, and they just use it exactly as they copy it. So this deck is probably just copy and paste like any other Numeron deck in the game. Because there's no, like, creativity with it. in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just they see it, they copy it, they use the exact copy, you know, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it, you know. I feel like as long as you're having fun with the game, right? One of my favorite aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh! Though is the creation aspect of creating a deck. As you can see, I get to activate my effect here. Is the creation aspect of, like, creating yourself a deck, you know, and having fun with it, right? And there is some, like, decks that I take, like, how do I say it? I take notes from, right? Like, I'll say, okay, this card works good with this card, you know, because it's hard. There's so many Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in this game. It's hard to just be like, well, I'm going to use this card in the deck because it complements this card, right? Sometimes you need help because you don't know every card in the game. Some card may work better than others. So obviously it's good to get inspiration. That was the word I was looking for. Obviously it's good to get inspiration. But I just personally feel like if you're going to get the inspiration and put your own twist on it. You know, because like even this ALEISTER deck, like I definitely got inspiration, but then I turned it into my entirely own thing. Like this is my ALEISTER deck. No other person in the game is running an ALEISTER deck even near close to how I'm running this ALEISTER deck right now. And I feel good knowing that. Like that makes me feel good to know that this was custom. I created this. I'm using it and I'm having fun with it, right? So exactly what I think in my brain is happening here. He's gaining his attack points. He's crashing. He goes for the crash here. I think he's taking his time. There it is. I do activate ALEISTER, bring my monster to 3,000 attack. So he loses 1,000 more life points, and his attack points go they double now. And he will use that attack on the fusion monster because that is his biggest threat on the field right now. So we only take 1,000 damage and we only lose one monster this turn. So this ended up going really, really well. Exactly how I planned it, actually. Now, an ALEISTER would be really good right here. An ALEISTER draw. If we could draw an ALEISTER right now, that would be really good. There's a lot of sounds happening right now. Oh my goodness. It's always when I record the most sounds are happening right now. I don't even know what's happening outside. It sounds like Godzilla is fighting a giant ambulance. But it's fine. Hopefully that doesn't come through in the video too much. If it does, I apologize. It's just the world doesn't like me recording videos. It tries to make it as hard as possible for me. I wish I could stop it, but I cannot. So if you hear slight Godzilla roaring and, you know, ambulances crashing into skyscrapers, it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Then he summons a kaiju, which is very annoying. I can't really talk much, though, because I use a kaiju in my deck. Then he uses Raigeki to destroy it, which was really smart, because now I have no monsters on the field, which the whole point of doing that ALEISTER play was to keep at least that one Dogmatica monster on the field. So this was a really bad situation. All I had to do was draw one monster and I win. And I didn't draw a monster. I drew a trap card. And I was very, very angry because I was like, all I had to do was draw like one ALEISTER. Like one ALEISTER. That's it. And then I didn't. And I drew a trap card, which was very unfortunate. But at least it was a trap card I could have used, you know? Because this could actually work good for fighting against this deck. Because, again, all the summons that Numeron Network does count as one. They all count as one special summon. So I will only be able to destroy one special summon monster with that trap card. But even one special summon monster is some saved life points. Also, how they work is they have to attack an opponent's monster for their effect to activate. I don't have a monster on my field, so they won't gain attack points. And when they attack directly, they do half damage. So if they attack me directly for 1,000, they'd only do 500 damage. So it's not like I would have taken a lot of damage here anyway, but it shortens the damage from 2,000 to 1,500, right? Which is obviously useful. Every 50 life points in this game, every 25 life points in this game is useful because it can be a clutch life point comeback. As you've seen in my my Eldlich video, the 500 life point comeback video, 500 life points can be very, very important. So saving myself that would be ideal. It is so noisy outside. That's fine. That's fine. I don't think it's coming through, but if it is, again, I apologize. Can't really do anything about it. It is what it is. But let's enjoy this ALEISTER gameplay. Or I guess this Numeron gameplay, because this is no longer my game. I guess I'm just going to sit here for 3 hours and watch this Numeron game. I guess I don't get to play the game anymore. He wanted to play solo mode, so that's fine. So he's just doing his own thing right now. And the thing about Numerons, they're just so like they're easy to counter, but like if you're not prepared for them, man, I guess that's any deck in the game, right? Because if you happen to ranked, there's a lot you're probably not prepared for, right? So, like Drytrons and Twin Star, and there's the train, the lovely train. He loves to make an appearance in my videos. So guys, there's Train, the homie Train. Say hey to the homie Train. But yeah, Drytrons like Twin Star. I always forget the other ones' names, but like you can be prepared for those, but it's ranked. Like you never know what you're gonna find, right? Like, you can fight a gold rank 5 and he'll be using a pro Drytrons deck, right? A tier 0 Drytrons deck. It is like, well, yep, that's, I guess, GG's, bro. GG's go next. So, it's hard to be prepared for this stuff. But, like I said, I just feel like fighting against Numerons with this deck was really lucky for me. Well, I guess the hand I got was really lucky, because this could have went bad, but the hand I got was really lucky. So he summons this card, which is very annoying. I would have to get rid of that as soon as possible, which I do. Luckily, I had that face down to instantly negate that card and destroy it, because had he done anything with that card, I would have died on his next turn, which would have been very, very unfortunate. Yeah, it just would have been very unfortunate, because I was really looking forward to like clutching this duel out. But I guess it's more of a clutch for him because he has the less life points. But I was really looking forward to winning this duel. So he only gets to attack with 3 Drytrons, because I knew he was going to summon his boss monster there, which is what I was waiting for to use my trap card on, which I did, destroyed it. So I only took 1,500 damage that turn. Technically, I took 3,000 because I dealt 1,500 to myself, but it's fine. We don't talk about it. So we didn't draw a monster, because at that moment, I was really praying for a monster. We didn't draw a monster, but we did draw a Monster Reborn. So I ended up bringing the fusion back, the invoked fusion, because I was thinking about the Dogmatica Knighted, but I didn't summon Knighted. I ended up summoning the fusion, which, I mean, hey, it counts as a monster, so technically I did draw a monster there. I go for the attack, and before I get a chance to, he forfeits the duel, and we get a nice little clean W with ALEISTER. It's been wild, man. It's been a while. I've been practicing that other deck for so long. I forgot what winning feels like. I forgot what ALEISTER winning feels like, and it feels really, really good. I made some adjustments to the deck on camera here, because I always forget to make it, and this is the one time I remembered. So I was like, on camera or not, I remembered this one time to do it, so I'm going to do it now. I wanted to add this Paleozoic into the deck, because it targets 1 banished card and returns it to the hand. I've ran into a lot of people that have negated the second effect of Invocation. So I feel like that card would be very great to have, just in case somebody does like negate the second effect of Invocation and I can't bring my banished ALEISTER back. I can just use that trap card, which is really good. Skullmeister has been such a nuisance lately, man. Like, he hasn't done anything for me in this deck so far but get in the way. Like, there's literally times in a duel, like, no exaggeration, I need to draw any card in the deck except for Skullmeister. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. Like, there's literally times I need to draw anything but Skullmeister. Literally anything left in the deck. And then I draw Skullmeister. So I just went ahead and took him out the deck. He let me go first here, which is very interesting. I'm used to living in Platinum, where if you lose the coin toss, you're just going second. Because that's where I spend the most of my time is Platinum, and it's not a nice place up there, man. It ain't nice. It ain't nice. So sometimes I need a break from the Platinum. We did get a bad hand here, not the greatest hand to work with, but I made it work. Summon Breaker, it has worked really well in this deck so far. I would recommend it. Summon Breaker, I think, is only your rare, so you should have like a lot of rare gems. If you do, craft a Summon Breaker, please, because it is so good. And it's not taking up a slot or anything. Now, if you're one of those tier 0 deck players like Drytrons or whatever, obviously Summon Breaker is not going to be good for you, because just like Skill Drain, it activates for both opponents. He was playing Eldlich right here, which was kind of, it was interesting because a lot of people complain about Eldlich, but what I found is, like, I haven't seen an Eldlich deck in a very, very long time, besides me, of course. I've kind of been the only Eldlich deck I've seen in a while. So it was kind of, in a way, it was kind of refreshing to see an Eldlich deck. And a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I don't find Eldlich that threatening, man. To be honest, like, I don't think I've lost to an Eldlich deck before, to be honest. I know a lot of people absolutely despise him. Like, they quit Master Duel, do the Eldlich, and I was like, I mean, sure, dude, go for it. Like, he's not a problem to me personally, but sure, man. I did destroy that Eldlich there, which was you probably would think it's pointless, but it wasn't for me, because I got to get that fusion card in the graveyard, which that was the only reason I destroyed that Eldlich. I didn't care whether it was on the field or not. Also, he did something 3 times. That's why Summon Breaker is so good. Like I said, if you can craft Summon Breaker, do it, please, and just throw it in a deck. Throw it in a deck that doesn't have to summon too many times. Like I'll put this in my Summon Skull deck, right? Because with Summon Skull, you don't summon like 17 times in one turn. But that's why I put that trap card in the graveyard, because I can send a fusion to the graveyard, and the fusion I send allows me to special summon I think a Drytron from my deck. I mean, not a Drytron, a Dogmatica from my deck, and I did summon Knighted, so that was useful. But yeah, just throw it in like a deck that doesn't need to summon like way too much, and I promise it's useful, especially if you're up there in Platinum, man, because in Gold, you'll find decks that like don't really summon a lot, but still are really good. You'll find decks like that. So Summon Breaker is kind of useless in some situations, which that's very rare, but sometimes it does happen, because there are, believe it or not, there are people that actually play this game to have fun. Believe it or not, that is true. So sometimes in Gold it can be a little bit useless, but in Platinum, I swear it'll never be useless. I've spent the most amount of time in this game in Platinum ranked, just grinding up there, and trust me, Summon Breaker, never useless in Platinum, ever. Because all the decks up there summon 17 times in one turn. And usually how those decks work is the first few monsters are weak, and then they go up into a big monster. So like their first 3 summons are going to be pretty weak monsters. So it just immediately in their turn, and they got these pretty decently weak monsters on the field, ready to be destroyed. I also did add this pendulum card in here. This is actually my first time using pendulums in this game. I do love pendulums. I won't say I love them. I really like pendulums. But I haven't used them yet in this game, and that was the first one I've used so far. And it's a pretty good one. I can target 1 card on their field, and their attack is halved till the end of the turn. And once that's finished activating, that card gets into my graveyard, which is actually pretty good, because I need cards like that in my graveyard anyway. I do activate my Karma Cut here, send that to the grave to banish his Eldlich. I found this duel like very funny, because I just negated every Eldlich he summoned. Like every time he tried to use Eldlich in the Eldlich deck, I was like, I understand it's an Eldlich deck and everything, but like I just don't want you to have Eldlich. I don't really like the guy, you know. So I'm just gonna get rid of him. Also, I don't know why he got that right there, because he can't use it. I don't know if he thought he could use it, or maybe that was the only card he could have gotten. I don't know. But it's pretty useless here. So I think it was a misplay, but maybe not, you know. You never know. So yeah, I found it funny, because every time he did anything Eldlich related, I'm like, I understand this is an Eldlich deck. I do. I really understand, but I don't care. Truly, I could care less. So we did activate this right here, just because we needed something good in our hand. Our field is not necessarily stacked to the max right now, so we needed something good in our hand here. So we got rid of those 3 to look at the top 3. Now I did have a chance to get an ALEISTER here, but it didn't seem like the smartest option. Because I was checking the graveyards, because obviously I can use monsters from my opponent's graveyard too. He only had dark monsters. I only had dark monsters. I had 1 fire type monster, but that wouldn't help me either. So I just chose to get the monster reborn to bring back the big boy I just sent to the graveyard with the Karma Cut. Because so how ALEISTER works is ALEISTER plus 1 dark monster equals a monster, I forgot his name, but basically once he's on the field, both players can only activate 1 effect a turn, and they can only attack with 1 monster a turn. So that wouldn't be very useful here. And the other one was 1 ALEISTER and 1 fire monster, and basically how that works is for every card that your opponent has on the field, it gains 200 attack, and it gets to attack every monster on your opponent's field, which is really good if you're just going for damage, but it has no negates. So it can easily get destroyed by something like Raigeki, or just something that has simply more attack points in it. So that's why I don't really go for those options, because the dark monster is pretty good, because like only having one effect for your turn, it's kind of like summon breaker. In like a modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck, one card in your like one effect to activate is really hard, but at the same time, that's really hard for me too. That's really hard for me too. So that wouldn't have been smart. So I just brought it back from the grave. I have a Link monster in there. It is a World Chalice Link monster. Now, a lot of people will be asking about that. The reason I have that card in the graveyard is in my extra deck, is because two monsters with different attributes, I think, is the requirement for that to be summoned. And once it is summoned, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects except for effects of a Link monster. So it's actually really good for just stalling, because it can be destroyed by battle. So I can just stall with it. If I ain't got nothing good in my hand, I can stall for at least like 2 turns, 2 draws, and hopefully I have something by that time. But that's basically all it is a stall. So he got Golden Land Forever right there, which tells me that he's gonna get an Eldlich monster on the field, because you have to tribute an Eldlich monster to activate that negate anyway. So it wouldn't make sense for him to get that unless he had an Eldlich monster. So I'm really expecting him to summon Eldlich here. Again, I'm checking the grave to see what we got in there. Nothing really too crazy in the graveyard. I flipped this to attack just as bait. I want to actually see if he has a card to summon Eldlich. So I'm debating on who to attack with first. I thought about this for a while and I chose this. Because if he has a card to summon Eldlich, he'll just summon it right now. And he didn't, which was very confusing. So I'm like, well, he'll definitely summon it now, because he's about to take this 4K to the face. And he'll only have 50 life points left, so less. He'll only have 50 life points left, so he'll activate it now. And he didn't activate it. I'm like, what is he waiting for? What is he waiting for? What is he waiting so long for? And so I go for the last attack, and it goes through. And I'm like, well, maybe he didn't have a card to summon Eldlich. Getting Golden Land Forever right there was kind of stupid if he didn't have a card to summon Eldlich. But I ain't judging the guy. Maybe it's his first time using an Eldlich deck. I don't know. But we did beat him, and we did catch our second dub for the video. So I feel like this was a pretty good length for a video. So yeah, man, I really love ALEISTER. I really do. It's fun. It's good, but it's fun at the same time. Because, like, there's some decks you can tell that are like, they're good, but they're not fun to play. Like, you can tell, like, that's not fun to use. I can tell by the way you look, bro, that's not fun to use. It's not. It can't be. It can't be fun to use. But this is my deck list right here. I just accidentally took a card out, but don't worry about that. But this is my deck list. This is what I use, my custom deck list for ALEISTER. I recently pulled that card. I don't know why I showed that. But yeah, that's my custom deck list for ALEISTER. That's what I built over time. And yeah, man. But like, yeah, as I was saying, there's some decks that just, you can tell they're not fun to play, bro. That, like, they're good. Like, they're tier 0. But the problem with tier 0 decks is they're 0 fun. And I know a lot of people say tier 1. I say tier 0. Because, like, there's a lot of tier 1 decks. But, like, when you reach that tier 0, it's like Tritrons, Tri-Brigade. You know, that's like tier 0 to me. Like, I can't see that being fun. But we do our celebratory summons here. And this is the part of the video where I ask y'all to like the video. And I ask y'all to click the subscribe button. And please hit the notification bell, because YouTube does act up sometimes. So please click that notification bell so you get a notification every time I drop a video. As well, check out my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, because my Instagram is basically a second YouTube channel. You can get the links to all my videos. Every time I drop a video, I upload it. I post about it over on Instagram, and I upload the link to the post. So make sure to go follow my Instagram if you want to keep up with me at all times. Because, like I said, YouTube's kind of shaky sometimes, but Instagram, you'll always get those notifications. So go follow me on Instagram so you get the post every time I drop a video. As I said, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. It's your boy Arrahaffv, son of Arrahaffv, and it's me, y'all. Peace and out. Peace.